Good evening. Welcome to this broadcast of Newswatch with me, Joy Mochache. We're going to take you through our bulletin for tonight. And as we begin, I'll start you off with our very first story. Thank you so much for tuning in. The Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union has demanded a salary increase for health workers, citing the high cost of living. Speaking after the National Executive Council meeting to deliberate on issues affecting health workers, KMPDU Secretary General Joy Mochache noted that their last pay increase was back in 2016, despite their latest agreement on the collective bargaining argument, that is CBA. As Tess Njenga now reports, the council has also noted with concern that some county governments are infringing on the rights of health workers through unlawful dismissal from employment and lack of pay.
The Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union KMPDU Secretary General Joy Mochache has criticized the government's move to increase taxes following the Finance Bill 2023 amidst the high cost of living in the country. Speaking after a National Executive Council meeting to deliberate on issues affecting health workers, Joy said that it is now logical for them to demand a salary increase that is commensurate to the high cost of living, noting that their last pay increase was back in 2016, despite their latest agreement on the collective bargaining agreement CBA.
The neck of the union has resolved to demand for a salary increase for doctors across the country. We are demanding for collective bargaining agreements to be rapidly negotiated so that we can have salaries that are commensurate to the changes in the market price of commodities. There's inflation, there's change in fuel, the increase in commodities and everything.
The union has also criticized the government for the proposal to increase NHIF rates, given that the health insurance has not been held to account for its funds. They accused NHIF for betraying Kenyans, saying the insurance does not provide adequate cover even for the medical practitioners.
NHIF, as currently constituted, does not pay for the workers where they go to get services to different hospitals. It's only sometimes cover bed, and it leaves the healthcare workers, it leaves the doctors with burden to pay their cost of care by themselves.
Another major issue of concern raised is county governance, where the county has been called out for not supporting health workers. In particular, Nakuru County is in the spotlight for dismissing 530 workers, which is in contrast to the KMPDU CBA. On a similar note, Machakos County has given a 7-day notice to go on strike if their issues are not addressed, as Garissa County workers decry the unceremonious stop to their pay.
And we rebuke and say that that is shameful for the county, who had campaigned on the promise of supporting healthcare workers, to renegade against that particular decision.
At the same time, the Kenyatta National Hospital KNH health workers are contemplating a strike in the next 2 weeks. The KNH workers say that the hospital has infringed on their rights by paying them about half of their salaries.
Kenyatta National Hospital imedhulumu madaktari, inawalipa mshahara ambao ni duni, nusu ambao wameandikishwa katika ile kandarasi mzuri. Kwa hivyo tunakupatia hospitali ya Kenyatta notisi ya wiki 2. Na pia kunao madaktari ambao wamefutwa kiolela katika ile hospitali ya Kenyatta, ambapo jambo ambalo tutakubali kama madaktari.
KMPDU Secretary General Joy Mochache is now urging the government to implement their agreement, which is set to grant them a pay increase so as to mitigate the high cost of living. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Tess Njenga.
Thank you, Tess Njenga, for that report. And moving on, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has ridiculed Azimio's plan to impeach President William Ruto from the top position through signature collection. Speaking today in Nyeri County at the late David Mureithe's funeral, Gachagua stated that the government is firm and will not be shaken by the planned anti-government demonstrations being carried on by the opposition coalition led by Raila Odinga. Gachagua reiterated that the government is firm on implementing its agenda despite the ongoing protests.
We are, as a country, very disturbed by the events of yesterday. the deaths that came out of the ill-planned demonstrations by Azimio, destruction of property, and interference with business. These Azimio people must know that elections are over. Elections were won and lost. They must move on. The truth of the matter is that William Ruto is the president of Kenya, and nothing can change that fact. Even if they collect 10 million signatures, where will they take those signatures to who? Matters elections are not decided by signatures. They are decided on the ballot. A specific date was set for that purpose, 9th of August 2022, and people signed, and that was the head of signatures until after 5 years. What they should be doing is preparing themselves for the next contest. So we want to tell the people of Kenya, there is no constitutional provision for anybody to collect signatures against a sitting president. They are just wasting their time. And we want to urge our president to stay focused, to continue doing the right thing, to continue on the journey for economic prosperity and the empowerment of our people.
And 5 Embu Fire Department employees have been interdicted for failing to respond to a fire that occurred on Wednesday in Mijengo Estate, Embu Town, that left 8 families homeless. Governor Cecily Mbarire said that those interdicted include the Director of Disaster and Emergency Services and the firemen who were on duty on the relevant day, pending investigations into the alleged laxity. Mbarire also apologized to the victims of the entire fire team's inability to arrive at the location less than 3 kilometers from their station, despite having a fully operational engine. Kirimari Ward MCA Ibrahim Swale called for investigation to establish how the 4 million shillings that the county assembly allocated for servicing the engines was spent.
Naendelea kuambia wafanyikazi wa Embu County kwamba hii ni wakati ya mama na hii ni serikali nyingine. Ile serikali walikuwa wamezoea ya Wambora, mambo yamebadilika. Kwa hivyo ni vizuri wajue lazima wabadilike kulingana na serikali ambayo imebadilika. Na tunashukuru sana governor for taking the action, na tutaendelea kusupport. Wakati serikali inafanya jambo lizuri, tutasema wamefanya vizuri. Na wakati kutakuwa na shida, tutasema kuna shida. Na tunataka kuomba uchunguzi uendelee na wasikwamie hapo, ili tujue pia zile pesa ambazo tuliweka katika bajeti shilingi milioni 4 kama zimetumika vizuri kuhakikisha magari moto yanaweza kutufanyia kazi.
I sincerely want to apologize to the people of Mijengo because one, our department, fire department, did not respond at all to the fire. They had a fire engine that was operational, fueled, but they refused to go to site. Reasons that I'm going to know because I've started an investigation into the matter. Number 2, it took the support of Kirinyaga County government to send us a fire engine that we could use so that we could be able to put out the fire. As a result, we lost 3 houses. I have since, number 1, instructed that the Director for Emergency, Disaster and Emergency Services be sent on compulsory leave pending investigations, a show cause letter to show why he should not be disciplined because he didn't take action, he was not even in the county. 3, the firemen themselves who were on duty have also gotten a show cause letter because they do not respond as they should have.
Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Mashogu has stated that the recommendations made in the report on education reform by a task force committee created by President William Ruto in September last year will help improve the education sector. Speaking at the Aberdare Teachers Training College in Daragwa constituency in Nyandarua County, CS Machogu stated that the concentration of pupils entering teaching colleges has been a barrier that prevents more qualified learners from enrolling in higher education institutions. Machogu called on the members of parliament to use their NGCDF kitty improvement of school infrastructure, noting that the government disbursed 1.4 billion shillings to all colleges for recurrent expenditure. and a further 64,495 shillings for in-service teachers training for necessary skills development.
The Presidential Working Party on Education Reform has completed its mandate and will soon be presenting its final report to His Excellency the President. I have no doubt that the report will be a comprehensive study of our education system and that it will make suitable recommendations that will inform the growth of our education sector to greater heights. Teacher training is critical for education development as teachers are at the core of curriculum implementation. The competence-based teacher education calls for the development of transformative and reflective teachers. These teachers should be capable of identifying and utilizing opportunities to implement curricula in different learning contexts and in nurturing every learner's potential. I also call upon members of Parliament to use part of their Constituent Development Fund to support infrastructure growth in our college and other educational institutions. And here I thank the Member of Parliament for committing to give 10 million to this college this financial year.
Kwa nini wezi azia na hapa Ndaragwa? Watu ya Ndaragwa wapate hardship allowance.
I really sympathized with these graduates to hear that you live in temporary shelters na vile huko kwa baridi.
Walimu hapa wanakuja wanamaliza miezi kadhaa wanaenda because we are not under hardship allowance. Nimeleta mswada Ndaragwa iwe considered as a hardship area so that they can have this hardship allowance na walimu watulie hapa kwetu.
And secondary schools from Laikipia County have set up camp in Nyahururu town for a 2-day music festival, allowing pupils to showcase their abilities. According to the Nyahururu Sub-County Education Officer, Samson Burugu, the festival plays an important role in the documentation of different communities' cultural heritages in the country, and that students should be given opportunities to explore their talents because music helps boost their academic performance by broadening their minds and giving them exposure.
We have very good teams trained by our teachers, and we are hoping that they are going to move to the next level. Of course, when we have such festivals, it's educative. Besides the diversity that we have, we are expecting items that talk of educating, sensitizing the community on such vices. Also bringing the communities together.
We really request for more support from the government, from the county government also, our leaders in Laikipia County. We urge you to come in and support these activities in Laikipia so that our county is going to grow.
Kenya is leveraging its strong relations with the Republic of Congo to unlock the massive untapped trade opportunities. Speaking during a business forum in Brazzaville that brought together Kenyan and Congolese investors, President William Ruto said the two nations will establish a conducive environment where entrepreneurs can freely invest under the African Free Continental Trade Area framework. He called on the entrepreneurs to take advantage of the close Kenya-Congo ties to expand trade volumes that will spur growth and broaden economic opportunities for the people.
We will be discussing matters to do with the empowerment of young people through training and education. We want to align the training of our young people to the needs of industry and how we can twin the technical skills so that we can make our young people job ready. We will also be discussing matters to do with infrastructure, from roads to matters to do with rail. We'll be discussing energy, and these are all important components. The economy is driven by policy, but the real players are the private sector.
We have looked at the trade statistics between ourselves and Congo-Brazzaville. We are exporting from Kenya 700 times less Congo-Brazzaville imports approximately 3.4 billion US dollar worth of goods and services. Kenya exports approximately 5.4 million worth of goods and services to Congo-Brazzaville.
Ceux qui voudront investir pourront investir directement ou en partenariat avec les collègues congolais.
So those who wish to invest in Congo, they may do it straightforwardly or in collaboration with partners from Congo.
Et nous verrons ces questions de détail tout à l'heure.
So we're going to tackle all these points soon.
Et nous comptons sur nos autorités pour nous faciliter les aspects réglementaires de transfert des marchandises et des biens, des services.
We rely on our authorities to facilitate us the.
At this point, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back with more of our bulletin. Please stay tuned in to Hope TV Newswatch. I'm Joy Mochache.
Because women talk more and they are not very strong physically, when they want to hurt their husbands or their children or anybody, they use the tongue.
Families under God.
How can we continue to live carelessly in ease?
Join Reverend Dr. Judy Mbugua as she imparts families through prayer, evangelism, and social transformation with the Word of God.
You know, God is not asking you to manage. He's asking you to be available. Amen. And He will make you able and capable.
Families under God, only on Hope TV.
Welcome back. You are currently watching Newswatch. I'm Joy Mochache. Engage with me on Facebook at Hope TV Kenya. On Instagram and Twitter, find us at HopeTV_KE. Let us know what you think of our bulletin and any other thoughts that you would like to share on the same. Moving right along onto some business. The Micro Small Enterprise, in collaboration with Tally Solutions, has recognized individuals in SMEs and MSEs, which is dubbed Tally's MSME Honors, to honor businesses, entrepreneurs, and professionals who have left an enduring mark on their respective industries. MSME Honors is an annual recognition that aims to identify MSMEs and SMEs as heroes. MSE's chairman, James Mureu, said that the country is headed in the right direction since MSMEs account for over 70% of the businesses that are carried out in the country. They contribute upwards of 32% of all the jobs that are created globally, adding that in the U.S. they generate about 50% of the world's gross domestic product, which is also the case here in Kenya.
Obviously, not only we, all of us understand that small and micro businesses, medium businesses, they all add a lot of value to the economy of the countries. They give a lot of employment and they add a lot of value in terms of different products, services to the community. And it's really a pleasure to align with such prestigious bodies like MSEA and KNCCI, who are committed and who are equally devoted for the growth of and creating a vibrant small and medium enterprise ecosystem within Kenya.
The government has taken a number of steps to remove the constraints that impede faster development in the virtual sector, which is exemplified by the establishment of the dedicated Ministry of Cooperative Development and MSMEs that aims to create a conducive environment for the sector. And this has included the development of appropriate policies, legal and institutional frameworks to unlock the full potential of MSMEs.
How about we take you to some sports? The 20th edition of the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon was launched today in Uhuru Gardens. The ceremony, which was attended by over 200 guests, was attended by delegates such as the Deputy Governor of Nairobi City County, James Njoroge Muchiri, the President of Athletics Kenya, General Jackson Tuwei, the CEO of Standard Chartered, Kariuki Ngari, the commanding officer of Uhuru Gardens, Major Ernest Diego, and several sponsors, partners, running clubs, among others. The 20th edition was themed 20 years of running, which marks 2 decades of the bank's commitment to deliver a premier, IAAF-accredited international mass participation sporting event that aims to provide a platform where elite athletes can use as a springboard to launch their international careers.
We need to start seeing that Nairobi City Marathon is a magnet for tourists, both local, because we get a lot of runners from Eldoret. They come the night before, they sleep, so they leave their money here, and international as well. And that is a benefit that we are seeing, and we really appreciate what Nairobi City government is doing to keep on encouraging us, to keep on waiving all the advertising rights, because they are real partners.
We are extremely proud as Athletics Kenya to partner with the Standard Chartered Bank and join the journey that has got us to this stage of truly historic moment. This marathon has enabled many of our young athletes launch their profession, careers, and gone out to conquer the world in the international competitions. And indeed, that has been said before, even the names, and we have all witnessed this.
It is a testimony to your resolve to support the cause for the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon, dubbed Future Makers, an initiative with an objective to tackle inequality and promote economic inclusion for the young generation.
KCB RFC has secured a place in the quarterfinals of the ongoing Driftwood Sevens rugby tournament at the Mombasa Sports Club. The Dallas Sevens winners recorded a perfect outing in their day's fixtures, beating Nondescripts 22-0 in the opening match of the second leg of the National Sevens circuit, before hammering Kenyatta University's Black Blood 25-5 in their second fixture. The Bankers sealed a spot in the quarters after registering a 17-5 victory over Nakuru RFC, popularly known as Wanyore, in the afternoon clash.
I would say the team has really performed well. We gelled well. We are just continuing on the momentum we built last week, and we're happy with that. Enough of the one, now we focus for the knockout first tomorrow. I guess our work is cut out. We've already done all that we need to do during the week, so it's like going for an exam. We are waiting for the next paper, and we are anticipating, because on the knockout phase, it's unforgiving, whereby we are looking at hitting our targets. We just play a game at a time as we look at making it to the next level, retaining, getting to the finals, and also winning the cup, but we take a game at a time.
That's it for our news this evening. Please tune in again tomorrow, same time, for more Weekend News Watch with me, Joy Mochache. And a great thank you to everyone who made this bulletin possible, including editors, reporters, directors, and producers. We wish you, our viewers, a pleasant night ahead. Be blessed.